Special one-day license to sell and dispense alcoholic beverages for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Father Donald Lozier of the Holy Family Parish for Saturday, June 21st, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's the Holy Family Parish Festival at the Parish Hall and the schoolyard adjacent to the building at 122 Andrew Street. Kamani Lakamfang of the Watlau Mix RM of New England, it's Buddhist Temple, for Saturday, July 5th, 2008, and Sunday, July 6th, 2008, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. each day. The event is a fundraiser for the temple at the outdoor grounds at 41-45 Bernier Street. Also for all alcoholic beverages, Thomas McKay Backstage Concessions, Saturday, June 14th, 2008, from 12 noon to 7 p.m. The event is the Jamboree, a festival sponsored by the Jamboree Committee to be held on the roof level of the Edward Early Jr. Garage at 135 Middlesex Street. Colleen McDonald is representative.
Okay, if you'd be kind enough to introduce yourself at the mic for the record, please.
Please, anyone first.
Donald Lozier,
Okay, Father?
Germany Lagong Pang.
Okay,
Carleen McDonald.
okay.
Karen Bell.
Okay, what's Karen? You're not a, you're going for a sound permit, Karen. That'll be next. You're not in this, okay? Unless you would like to have a beer permit or, you know, what, I mean, yeah. Okay, how many, I know that Carleen has been before us, but I don't think either of you two have. Have you been before us before, Father?
Yes.
You have. Have you been before us, this commission, before?
Yes.
Okay. Then a refresher course says the license is yours. It does not belong to the parish. It does not belong to the temple. It's your license. Therefore, you are responsible for it. Therefore, be sure. You're gonna allow them to drink in the schoolyard, Father? It says in the parish hall and schoolyard. Are they gonna be allowed like beer outside? On the outside, so you're gonna keep the schoolyard locked or?
Fenced in,
Yeah, it's fenced in, so the general public, okay. And that's the most important thing. Not it's not gonna help us, because I'm not the guy that's gonna get sued. I'm not the guy that's gonna get sued. You're the people that are gonna get sued. And I don't say that to frighten you, but I say it by way of, so you have the knowledge of knowing. I don't want anybody ever to walk back in here and say, gee, I didn't know. You do know. You do know. It's your license. Things start to get out of hand, you just simply say, hey, it's my license, I'm going home, and I'm taking the bat with me, so we're out, okay? Do you have any questions about it at all? Anything that you would like to? Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Right, any
I
questions?
have no questions, and I thank you all for holding these events. They kind of help the city, and I think that they add to what we're trying to do down here. So with that, I'll make the motion to go ahead and grant the licenses.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay?
Good luck.
Good luck. Father, if you just stay there, and the secretary will read off the next, which is the amplified outdoor music.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for a special events permit for the amplified outdoor public entertainment. Adriana Stefano of Cafe Paradiso for Saturday, June 7th, 2008, from 1 p.m. to 12 midnight. In conjunction with the Massachusetts Democratic State Convention, there'll be live music with sound system at Palmer and Middle Streets. Karen Bell of Jamboree, a business residential association, for live music, sound system at the Jamboree, a festival to take place Saturday, June 14th, 2008, from 12 noon to 7 p.m. at the following locations: Marston Street and the Edward J. Early Jr. parking facility at 135 Middlesex Street. Father Donald Lozier for Saturday, June 21, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, the schoolyard adjacent to the school building, that is the parish center at 122 Andrew Street, band with amplified sound. Kamani Lakamfang for Saturday, July 5th and Sunday, July 6th, 2008, 12 noon to 8 p.m. each day. It's at outdoor grounds of the temple at 45 Bernier Street. There'll be a band with amplified sound.
Okay, again, if you'd introduce yourself for the record. Go ahead.
Adrian De Stefano, Cafe
Okay.
Paradiso.
Germany Lagong Peng.
Karen.
Father Donald Lozier.
Karen Bell.
Okay. You know, the city doesn't maintain a decibel level. The city says common sense. Common sense, and we've been very, very lucky. You know, approximately last year, the year before, we had a lot of complaints about the volume of noise. You know, you get a band and you hire the band, and the band doesn't think for a minute that we might not get paid if the people 5 blocks away don't hear us. Okay, the best thing you do is you go up and say, you might not get paid if they do hear you, because it'll be the last event that we'll be able to hold here. It's common sense. You know, if you're out there and after 10 o'clock at night, take a walk a couple of blocks away, Holy Ghost, you know, the Holy Ghost Park, they hold, it seems like hundreds of festivals there in the course of the year. And they go out about 10 o'clock and they walk across the parking lot and they listen. And it's been very successful. It's common sense. The people down the street 5 blocks from you don't need to enjoy the music. If they do, they can get off their butt and go up and join the party and have a good time. You know, most of you understand that, I'm sure, and we just want to reiterate it because, you know, fortunately, we have not had the downtown business group or the downtown neighborhood association marching on City Hall lately. Everybody has seemed to be pretty happy. And what you do adds a lot to this city. What you do, as Ray said, we do. We mean that when we say that. We thank you for what you do. Because think of how boring Lowell could be if we all sat at home on weekends, if we didn't have some place to go. And the music and the festivals and the parties add a lot to the atmosphere. It's just a matter of being sure that we're not driving the other people crazy, because some people just don't like to party. Okay? Any questions? Any questions?
No question.
Any questions?
No questions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Best of luck. I hope you got great weather.
I have one question.
What, am I going to be there?
You're going to be there? I hope you're all there. Thank you.
Which Jim?
Never been to a cookout on top of a parking
No.
garage, though.
No, but
Might
we
be
do.
interesting.
Yeah, we might just see you there. You know, you never know.
Possible.
Good luck.
Okay. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the application for a public amusement license for concert, Dropkick Murphys, for Thursday, July 10th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Edward A. LaLasha Park, 450 Aiken Street. The promoter is Diamond Action, Inc., Drew Weber, president, and Timothy Bauman is the vice president general manager.
I am Timothy Bauman.
Okay.
I'm going to cut them off, and I'm going to say it was a great concert when they were actually playing indoors, and I hope the outdoor concert is as good as the indoor concert.
We do too, thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, that's okay. You know, I mean, what, I'm sure they've got insurance and everything, and, you know, all, I mean,
Well,
what,
the Diamond Action, Inc. is the city's primary tenant at the LaLasha Ballpark.
right.
Obviously, they...
so they're the promoter for it, okay.
But this is a separate event. It's a separate from any of the scheduled baseball games that
I
are...
presume you got a promoter's license?
We do, and we do
Okay.
have insurance.
That I know is one major thing that you can miss. You know, I bring it up just so that you're aware of it. I know, how long is this? This gonna run to 11 o'clock? That's not too bad. Okay?
We know there's an 11 o'clock sound ordinance, so that's why we're stopping at 11.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the license.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
I'm sure your neighbors are gonna appreciate that.
They'll love us.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next on the, huh? Was it? What was it? Dropkick Murphy? Dropkick Murphy. Never even heard of it. Oh, boy, am I getting old. I like Sesame Street Live. I don't want to get too upset, you know?
Commission will now take up an application for a sidewalk stand license for the summer. The entity is SRL Enterprise Company LLC, Linda C. Williams, manager, doing business as Wells Emporium at 175 Merrimack Street for the following dates: June 12th, 26th, July 10th, the 24th, the 26th, 27th, August 7th, the 21st, and September 11th and the 25th, 2008. There are a total of
That's it.
10 dates.
Okay. Introduce yourself, please.
Linda Williams.
Okay, Linda. I'm just curious, I guess. I thought they had a general downtown business association blanket. No, they're not doing that this year, or?
I think that was something that may have happened several years ago.
We'll
but
see that.
The LBA is now, for all intents and purposes, any business that wishes to have a sidewalk stand would have to provide their own insurance liability for the city to be
Okay.
protected.
Okay, well, obviously, you've got your insurance, and it looks like you got the permit and everything, as far as using the sidewalk. The most important thing there to remember is you've got to allow 4 foot from the end of your display, so people can freely walk back and forth.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So the
you
sidewalk
can't
is-
block it.
is
You
this
can't
deep.
like put something in the sidewalk, so they have to walk around your product to make sure
Okay.
they see it. You gotta be up against, so you got a clear access.
All right.
Outside of that, I can't think anything else. You got anything?
Nothing.
No, I've got
Thank
nothing. Hope
Okay.
it works for you.
Thank
I'll make
you.
the motion to go ahead and approve.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Chuck E. Cheese.
Just in one thing regarding the
Yeah.
Wells Emporium, as far as the license fee, it's been $25 in recent years
Yeah.
for just 10 dates. Okay.
It's fine, $25 for 10 dates is fine. I think it adds a lot to the downtown area, to be honest with you, so,
I hope we have good weather all
I
those
hope you have
days.
a great, real good weather. Thank you. Okay. This is Tommy.
Commission will now take up a matter to do with an application by the corporation known as CEC Entertainment, Inc., doing business as Chuck E. Cheese, Michael Morgan, manager, a malt beverage and wine restaurant licensee at 209 Plain Street. There is request to improve an additional director to their board of directors, that person being General Retired Tommy Ray Franks of the state of Oklahoma.
Before we go any further, I have to disclose that I have a conflict on this matter. My office used to represent CEC when they first came into the city of Lowell, so do we have anybody here, or do I need to leave the room? Okay.
Nah, nobody. Do you need to leave the room? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Leave the room. Well, if I had my way, I'd call him in. I wouldn't just accept.
I want to see Mr.
accept it.
Franks,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'd have the general come up and say hi to us, Maybe I could give him a few pointers. No, that's all right. He has obviously an outstanding resume. I don't see any reason. It's just a corporate director. I'll make a motion, we accept.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Back to, we don't have to go back to, all right. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open up a hearing on the allegation of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, the superintendent of police, dated April 23rd, 2008, against the licensee Mango Tango, Inc., doing business as Mango Tango Hot Pot and Grill, of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 602-608 Merrimack Street.
Okay, if you folks would approach and identify yourself, please.
Good evening. My name is Santhaj. I am the owner of Mango Tango. I'm
Okay,
here with 2 of my staff, Lang, Sok, and Jay.
okay. Have you read the complaint?
Yes, I have.
Do you want it read into the record, or will you waive the reading?
Waive the reading.
You'll waive the reading, okay? Why don't you go ahead and tell us your side of in your own words, your side of the story as to what I've read we've got copies of the complaint.
Yes.
Okay, so in your words, tell us what happened.
Okay. On the night of issue, it happens to be a very special occasion, especially for the Lowell, Southeast Asian, and in particular, Cambodian New Year celebration. So that's a high event in terms of celebrating and, being with friends and family and so forth. So on that night, Mango Tango did host a Cambodian New Year celebration. We perhaps had around 50 to 60 people or less. We normally don't, pack up till perhaps 12:30 or 1. But I know we did have approximately around 50 to 60 people by 12 o'clock. And as always, we've hired, through the police department, detail officers. And at that night, we did have Officer Kilmartin as our paid detail officer. And later on, we requested, or Officer Kilmartin did ask me, would we like another detail service, only because at that time we were only provided one. So I said yes. And Officer Kilmartin did ask Naren Ma to, come after, because originally we always had 2 detail, and that night we only had 1. So I asked, okay, if you can get other security officer, because it is a high event, we do expect a lot of people to come, and I believe Naren Ma did come afterward. So we did have 2 paid detail offs, and we've always, cooperated, worked with the police department to ensure that on Friday and Saturday night, we do have that. In addition to the security staff, which we normally have 4 to 5 every Friday and Saturday, the City of Lowell always given us 2 detail officers, but I'm not sure what happened that night. At the night of issue, we had 50 to 60 people who, at that time, in terms of customer, who were at the bar. We're known as a restaurant, we're known as a family event, dinner place, sit down, and that happened to be a Cambodian New Year event. As people came in, our security staff did as they did, check IDs, got stamped. Excuse me? We also did pat down, as always, to ensure that, no weapons of any kind, nothing of that nature, would come in. So basically, there were some arguments or some sort of arguments among, I guess, the girls and boys in the environment, which I believe the staff took care of, handled it outside, but I believe it just took place 1 or 2 times inside, where Officer Clement, I believe, found it was necessary to get an assistant, where he called other, I guess, cruisers to come in.
Okay? All right. We'd like to get the police officer, if you would come up and could just kind of tell us in your own words. Why don't you sit down? Why don't you gentlemen ladies, sit down? Okay. Could we have your name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Mike Kilmartin with the Lowell Police Department. Basically, what she said is true. It was a night where, there were probably 50 or 60 people in the bar, the Cambodian New Year. It was a pretty good crowd. There were 2 of us working. And what happened was, I guess an individual went into the back part of the restaurant where they have a dance floor and started flashing gang signs to another individual that was in there. That's what I was told by the staff after. So I saw some of the staff, escorting this guy out the door, and he started struggling with the staff. So at that point, I assisted them in just getting him outside the door. And the problems took place actually outside the bar. When I asked the guy to leave several times, he became disorderly, started swearing at me, telling me he wasn't going to leave. So I had to place that individual under arrest, and then his friends attempted to intervene. They were also outside the restaurant, and they attempted to intervene in this situation, and they wound up being arrested. In total, about 10 people wound up being arrested. About 5, there was 2 occasions where arrests were made. There were about 5 people arrested initially at that time of the incident, which I think was somewhere around 11:30 at night. And then about a half hour later, another fight broke out inside the establishment. So at that point, about 5 more people were arrested, and the place was closed down. But I have worked at the Mango Tango on prior occasions, and I worked there that night, and I can always say that the staff that work the door there do an excellent job. They're very thorough about checking everybody who comes into the establishment. They do their best that they can do to keep unwanted or undesirable people out of the bar if possible, you know, and they, you know, they're always very vigilant about making sure that people aren't starting trouble in there or people are not intoxicated on the premises or whatever. So I've always had, you know, nothing but good experiences the times that I've worked there.
How do you figure this got out of control?
I think what happened is several individuals that are gang members just happened to show up there. It was a problem with the patrons more so than the staff or the ownership, in my opinion. It's just the patrons that showed up there that night. There was some street gang individuals that are in street gangs that were there, and they, you know, they have problems that have happened prior to them meeting up at that bar room. And you know, when they saw each other, of course, the problem started. And what happened basically is when we got outside, I tried to, you know, get the people to leave the property, leave the area, but nobody wanted to cooperate, you know.
You think it was they were overserved?
I don't believe so.
They were just belligerent?
Belligerent, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Was this officer working with you?
Yes, Officer St. Arnaud also arrested an individual that night.
Okay. The spirit of the club itself, though, was cooperation.
Yes.
Who initially called the police in, you or them?
No, I called for assistance when I got outside and I attempted to place that first individual under arrest. He wasn't really cooperating, and then one of his friends stepped toward me. So at that point, I felt that I was, you know, my safety was in jeopardy there. So I said, "Can you send a backup unit to this location?"
Okay. The first, the other thing that I'd like to just get straight in my mind was the time frame between the first 5 people getting arrested and the second 5.
I would say it was about a half-hour time frame.
Okay. And you didn't feel at any time that it was necessary to close it when the first 5 got arrested?
No, not at that time, but when the second problem started up, we felt it was, you know, the best course of action, because unfortunately the crowd that showed up there that night, there was some hostilities that, you know, spilled out from some prior incident they may have had on the street or whatever, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, but looking at the complaint, or the letter from Superintendent LaValle, they cite the Code of Massachusetts Regulations, section 204, I guess it would be chapter 204, regulation 2.0, CMRs, yeah, 2.052, and it says, as he quotes here, "No licensee for the sale of alcoholic beverages shall permit any disorder, disturbance, or illegality of any kind to take place in or on the licensed premises, and the licensee shall be responsible therefore, whether present or not." Now, from the testimony, or from the from Officer Kilmartin and from the Mango Tango, it sounds like they attempted to prevent these disorders and disturbances by having the paid private detail, by patting down the patrons to the bar, and unfortunately, it sounds like it may have just been, you know, an unfortunate circumstance where a couple of unwanted individuals, you know, weren't acting politely and respectfully to other individuals. So I think that the Mango Tango, from the testimony we've heard, did a pretty good job and has done a good job over. Have we had any incidents with them in the past? I don't.
There have been some incidents, Mr. Commissioner, not recently. However, I certainly understand where you're going with this, but the fact of the matter is, despite the precautions and security measures that were taken on the evening in question, we still had a situation where we had at least 7 arrests. I thought it was 10, but the document that the superintendent sent to the commission indicates 7. I thought it was more, notwithstanding the fact that there were a number of arrests, and when we do have a situation such as this that takes place, the only place that we can draw resources from are the neighborhoods. So what happens is the cars that are supposed to be in the Highlands, Pawtucketville, Belvedere have to respond to something like this. And I certainly understand the fact that precautions were taken, detail officers were hired, and you know, the establishment has been cooperative through the process. However, that does not negate the fact that this instance took place on their premises, and they are responsible for it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know who these people are?
Please
Can you
on
come back
to
up?
the mic.
Do you know who these people are that started this?
No,
You don't.
especially on a night.
So they could walk back in your place again tomorrow night, and you would not know it.
Do you, okay.
Go ahead.
Do you mean by, do we remember who they are, the ones that were arrested that night?
Yes.
Yes, we know exactly who were there. We keep track of who was banned and everything like that. Anybody had a situation that was ever a problem there, we always keep them 86 days or permanently banned from the building.
We have a good security system, camera.
You have
on the
cameras.
corner, yes.
So you can play that back
Oh,
and
yes.
actually see who it
Yes.
was. Okay, because that's kind of important,
Yes.
you know? I mean, regardless of what happens, you got somebody that's going to come in, and if they've got a problem on the outside, or you know, I mean, all too often, you know, you've always, years for years, you know, the biggest problem was Friday, people would get paid, you know, and they think, you know, you get the local town, you know, get the local drunk, and Friday was payday. I can go get drunk. I've worked all week. I owe it to myself. And, you know, these are the people that are going to go into your bar or into your club, and they're the people going to cause you problems. So those are the people you stop at the door. You don't let them in. You have to. And that goes for any kind of, you know, an establishment serving alcoholic beverages. You've got to know who these people are. If you don't, you're leaving yourself wide open. You know, many times we talk to folks and we tell them, if your establishment serves one minor, believe me, every person at Lowell High School knows about it the next day. They know how they got in, they know who was at the door, they know what they used for a light. They have you, you're dead. You're absolutely dead. It's like taking a rock and throwing it in a pond. It just ripples out. You can't get it back. The same with people like this. If they're going to go to your establishment, and where are they? You know what I say to people? Look around. Where are they? They're not here. They're not giving up an afternoon's work or an afternoon's salary. They could care less. They've jeopardized your very source of income, your living. They jeopardized your business. So you need to be so vigilant when it comes to that. You know, once somebody goes over that edge, you don't let them back in. It's that simple. You go someplace else. It's like the guy coming to the door at 1 o'clock wanting a couple of drinks. You're crazy if you let him in. You're crazy. He gets into an accident. The judge says, "Where'd you have your last draw?" "Down at Mango Tango." Guess what? The Mango Tango's got a lawsuit. So, you know, I wanted to know that. I need to know that. I need to know that you know who they are, right?
Now, I wanted to ask, you said that these individuals, you have a permanent ban list?
We have ban lists, and we know them by, like,
The log,
their
we
face.
have a log.
Okay.
So if anytime, one of those persons come by, we actually ask one of the 4 to 5 staff that night, is this exactly this guy? To make sure that this was the guy that was banned from the building.
Okay.
We do that constantly with the radio and with cameras, and we pretty much send everybody outside just to make sure that person's not allowed. And if they're allowed, we actually ask the officers that work detail that we don't want that guy back in here at all. We want him out of here and that he's banned from the building.
Has that been your experience as well? Okay. And do you, oh no, I was going to ask if you guys share that information with other clubs as well. I mean, you know, other bars, restaurants, and clubs in the area, that this is a guy who's a troublemaker, you know, and maybe if he's banned from your place, you should be sharing that information with every other club around.
Actually, other staff members from other places in general, they call us and let us know, hey, there was something going on over here. These people are involved, so keep an eye out for these guys that they might be coming to your establishment, like our establishment. We make sure we check for that also.
You see those patrons that were at the end of the facility, they come in, you don't let them go. We don't want the same outburst to happen at our facility.
Right. You don't want to import other people's trash, basically. Yes, you know,
Exactly.
for lack of a better word. All right.
Any other questions?
No, the other allegation was that there was no alcoholic beverage shall be sold or delivered to any premises licensed under this chapter to an intoxicated person, and Officer Kilmartin tested.
Well, that's why I asked if you thought it was,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm going to tell you how I feel about this, okay? I agree with Captain Kennedy wholeheartedly. I think you need to understand that especially at night, an officer gets in trouble, the rest of the city is left wide open. Everybody's going to go to help that person. They've got to, because they're very limited at night. So all the cruisers that are in the neighborhoods and everything chase on downtown, because rightfully so, because it could be them that's in trouble, and they would want the rest of the police department to respond to them. So you need to know the gravity of what happened. It wasn't just the fact that you had a couple of fights. It wasn't the fact that, people got arrested. It was more of the fact that you jeopardized the city, because when something like this happens, they pull in. That being said, I think you showed a tremendous spirit of cooperation. I think that the testimony of the police officer and the report shows that you're conscientious about this. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to make a motion to put the complaint on file with no finding. But I want you to know that we're not dismissing it. It's going to be in your folder. Okay? If nothing happens for the next 6 months, 6 months, we'll take it out and throw it away. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, it's my express hope that these individuals will not be seen in your establishment again, and that you'll be making sure that, other bars and restaurants in the area are aware of their identities and how to identify them if you've got video. I'd hope that, you'd be cooperating with your fellow license holders here in the city and making sure that they don't basically become somebody else's problem as well. I mean, personally, if I had it in my authority, I'd say that, nobody can have a liquor license if they're going to let these 7 individuals into their establishment in this city. I don't have that. So, but that, would be something that if they're involved in another incident in your establishment, then I wouldn't be able to give you any benefit of the doubt.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that the complaint be kept on file for 6 months. If there's no further, it'll be destroyed. Okay? I made a motion. That's a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay?
All right.
I was just going to say on the matter of destroying the record, I don't think that's possible, but certainly it would not be used against the licensee after a 6-month
That's what I
period.
meant.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, because I know you're not going to forget, what I mean. The secretary, he never forgets anything, really. Okay, we got it and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay?
Thank you.
All right, don't disappoint us.
Commission will now entertain a request by George R. Corain Jr. to file application for a secondhand motor
Captain,
vehicles
I think you
license,
let
Class
them go.
2.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, officers. Thank you.
Commission will now entertain a request by George R. Corain Jr. to file application for a secondhand motor vehicles license, Class 2, for used car dealer for premises at 147 Cambridge Street.
George isn't here.
George.
Okay, no George. No show. Okay. And the secretary's report.
In just recent days, prior to the scheduled meeting today, the office has received 2 applications, of which you have copies. One is for a non-alcoholic beverage restaurant license by a corporation known as Haga Corporation, doing business as Olay Restaurant and Tapas Bar, Jeffrey Hernandez, president, for premises at 76 Merrimack Street. And the second application is for a wine and malt beverage packaged goods store license by an LLC known as R&Z Company, Richard P. Rourke, manager, for premises at 58 Prescott Street, unit number 3C.
Where's that?
It's the old Sun Building, isn't it? Or,
Actually, 58 Prescott Street is the Claflin Building.
Okay.
It's on, it's...
when you come down You come down Central Street and it forks to the right.
Right,
If you're gonna go
that's
to the bridge,
Prescott.
that's Prescott, so.
And
It's in there?
It's in that, well, what it is that building before what we know that the Lowell Sun,
Yeah.
where they had the printing section of that building. The building before, where Lowell and Hartford's
Yep.
sporting goods store was, that's the Claflin building. What the intent is that there is a unit on the far side, on the, what is known as the east side, the Eastern Canal side, where they would have their entrance coming in off the walkway from that side. It's,
What's it gonna be, like an indoor mall type thing,
Are they
or?
gonna sell beers to the bar, people riding the barges as they go along?
Mr. Rourke and his business partner Stephanie Zigas have in mind to sell specialty wines primarily, cheese, and they'll obviously have some beer, but it's primarily a wine store. And though they will have, from what I'm told, on the Prescott Street, there'll be the store window, or the appearance of a window with a display, but for any customers, prospective customers, they would go down the walkway that we know as the drive-through for what they used to be the Lowell Sun trucks.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Walk down that way into, to the right, and go on the other side where the canal side is.
Yep.
And there you could enter the store.
Go around the blue tower.
Yeah.
Take a right.
okay,
Okay,
just past the outdoor seating.
okay.
Okay,
Make sure there's the 4 feet.
So that's the intent there. The other application
so
is,
we're gonna need that 4 feet now,
Yeah,
okay.
and the other application is to have, to do with a new restaurant, just the first floor to the right of what we now know as the Bad Dogs location.
oh, really?
Okay, and serving tapas.
Will be a Spanish restaurant, I
Yeah.
believe, yeah. So those are
Okay.
the matters for publication in tomorrow's newspaper for legal
Alright.
notices. The hearings would be for June the 19th, next meeting.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, works for me.
Okay, anything? Anything else?
No, I believe not.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
We're coming home, Benjamin.